I just wanted to welcome you both to Kate's Kitchen Party. We're setting up our table, our nice folding table today at The Mill in Stingers. And it's a charitable organization that raises money for Do It For Aaron, or DIFA for short. So big shout out to DIFA and The Mill for letting us film here today. I just want to welcome you both and give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves. I would introduce you, but I feel like you would do a better job of it yourselves.
Good.
Nobody knows you like you do, right?
Perfect. Well, thanks for having us on today, and thank you, Aaron's Mill, for letting us use your wonderful space. My name is Stephanie Steed, and I'm the Executive Director of the Brockville Area Community Foundation. And this is?
I'm Courtney Fullarton, and I have a fund at the Brockville Area Community Foundation. And Steph and I have been friends
For 100 years at least.
25, 30 years. So we go way back, and we're just trying to make some change in Brockville.
I should have had you introduce each other then. I feel like that would have been far more entertaining. We can do it again if you want, like one interesting fact about each other.
You don't want that.
No. Two truths and a lie.
Yeah, exactly.
So I kind of want to just give you a time to talk about what it is that you both do and what like kind of gets you out of bed in the morning, what gets you motivated. The goal here is really just to kind of share your passion projects and try to involve the community a little bit, at least the community that's, the CoachCo community that's watching, how they can help, why it matters, these kinds of questions. So
Sure.
I don't know who wants to start.
Maybe I'll give an overview of the work that we're doing at the foundation and tie in Courtney's wonderful fund that she started just over a year ago, if that works.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, great. So the Brockville Area Community Foundation has existed in our community for 50 years. This year we're turning 50, which is a very exciting milestone for us. So over those 5 decades, we've really been connecting our local philanthropists to the charities, to the causes that mean the most to them. And this is really what community foundations are all about. There's community foundations all across Canada. We're part of a network of over 200 community foundations, and we support the greater Brockville area. And while we connect our local philanthropists to these charities and these missions that they value and care the most about, we're also creating sustainable, stable, and permanent funding solutions for our local nonprofit sector.
So you're looking to raise funds for years down the line. We're not just funding like one thing here and there. It's not just individual projects. You're really looking for like long-term sustainability, long-term success for you.
Exactly it. Yeah. We're looking to create community vitality, not just a thriving community today, but for years to come.
And that's what got Rob and I so interested in doing a fund rather than just a one-time donation, because we're like, okay, great. We could, sponsor a few kids to join a sports team, but that's it. And then once it's done, it's done. Whereas with the foundation, like they do the investments and they help grow our money so that it goes way further and it lasts for years.
So your foundation then is for youth sports programming, right?
Yeah. It's called the Fullarton Family Fit Kids Fund. It's kind of a mouthful. I love it. Hard to remember. And like my husband and I are sports fanatics, and we both grew up here in Brockville, and we both played all the sports, did all the things, and it's made such an impact on our lives that we're like, and we're former teachers, both Rob and I.
Oh, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. So I was a teacher for a long time in intermediate, grade 7 and 8, at TIS and Athens District High School. And Rob is an elementary teacher all over. And we see firsthand like the need in the community.
Such a need for kids programming.
And it's unfortunate, like it's the kids that need it the most that don't get it. So we're like, how can we make a difference, and how can we give some of these kids what we had growing up? So it's not necessarily just for programming. It's for, maybe a kid's parents can afford hockey, but they can't afford the equipment. Or maybe there's a teen in the area who wants to improve their lives by eating healthier, and like just anything kind of sort of related to fitness and activity for kids and health. Yeah.
That's so cool. So how did you get started? You're like, okay, we have this idea. We want to help kids. I know you've known each other for a really long time, so I'm assuming you were, we can do this together. Totally. And, but if you don't have a bestie who's, a part of this incredible, organization, then how do you get started? Like, how do you do that?
Well, for us, it really did start with Stephanie working at the foundation and us learning about that. And thinking, oh, that'd be really cool. And really, honestly, Stephanie started it off by her family started a fund.
Oh, cool. How did I not know that?
Yeah. So her family started a fund, and Rob and I were like, oh, well, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Like, we could do that. And the nice thing is our funds are two totally separate, like, ideas. Like, they support
Different things.
kids in different ways.
And that's the thing about the foundation. We have now managed 23 individual endowment funds.
Wow.
Which is, I mean, I'm so proud of that. We've grown by 6 funds in the last 2 years, which means there's 6 extra streams of steady funding going into our nonprofit sector. But all 23 of our funds have a different vision, mission, heart, and soul behind it. And what I love is sitting down with Court and Rob and our other fund holders and really kind of drawing out what is going to mean something to you today, tomorrow, and where do you want to? Let's create your giving legacy here together.
Yeah.
And when we can make those connections and really create something meaningful, it goes a long way. The way that we've set up Courtney and Rob's fund is a donor-advised fund. There's a variety of ways you can set up your fund at the foundation, but they've selected a donor-advised fund. So every year, they'll get to have a say as to where their grant goes to. Their annual grant that will start next year, because their fund has grown so quickly, their fund will start granting next year and will create a grant in our community every single year in perpetuity, which is a pretty amazing thing to create.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's really fantastic. And so, like, when people, let's say, okay, there's somebody who wants to make a contribution, or are the individual funds, like, do you manage kind of publicizing it? Do you manage, like, how does that, like, how do you collect the funds for the different groups?
We manage that. So we kind of market all 23 of those funds. They all get their own little mini marketing campaign via the foundation. But then our fund holders also manage, it's a real collaboration. They get to take on their own piece of fundraising and networking amongst their friends and family. And that's where we see a lot of amazing growth.
The nice thing too is, like, there's a lot of our kind of circle of friends who have, maybe not a lot, but there's quite a few of us who have a fund. And it's kind of like, okay, how can we do an event that's going to raise money for our fund? So, like, last year, one of the fund holders had a mini golf tournament for our kids.
For their
so
fund,
we all went to the mini golf and we all got to play, but it was for their, like, fundraising for their fund.
Oh, so you're all, like, supporting each other.
Yeah.
It's really like a teamwork, which
Yeah.
is, very much in line with the idea of team sports.
Yeah.
And, growing up, so when I was little, I was the kid that tried every sport, and I tried really hard, but I was awful at, like, most of them. And I'm looking at my kids now too, and they're very much like the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree. They really want to be on the team. They really want to participate. But it's team activities are hard, right? Because you have to learn how to be a team member. And so it makes it all the more important for them to be a part of something like that. And we're really lucky that we can put our kids in those kinds of activities. Like last year we were able to put Hudson in the Otters swim team.
Yes.
And he loved it because he got to kind of just do his own thing, but he was still a part of a team.
Yes.
And it really, like, just watching him in the pool playing the games that they were playing and pushing himself. And those are, like, the character defining moments for our kids,
Without
right?
a doubt.
Where
we're both
can do
raising
that.
kids in this community. We both grew up in this community, but we both have had experiences. Courtney being a teacher, I worked for Big Brothers Big Sisters for years.
Right.
So we know how much we are going to be able to give our kids.
We
see the need. And we see that need for sustainability too. So I think something also that I'd love to mention is that I think there's this impression that when you come to the foundation, you have to have loads of money to start a fund with us. And it's not true. It's not true. That's something that I do want to dismantle. Courtney's fund has grown very quickly, but you can start. My family fund started with a donation of $100. And we've just kind of slowly been built it. And with the help of friends and family believing in our mission, it's growing nicely too. So it's not an active fund, so it's not creating a grant in perpetuity until it reaches $5,000.
Okay.
That's the one thing to mention. But you can start a fund for as little as $100.
Do you have, like, a set amount of time? Like, does it have to reach 5,000 by a certain point?
In 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, $1,000 a year is very doable.
It's very doable. That's right. And if it's not reached in those 5 years, what we need to do is just kind of disperse it into the funds that have a similar mission. Just because we've done fundraising with the
Right.
community, we need to make sure that starts making an impact sooner than later.
Right.
Right.
Right. And then if you have multiple funds that have very similar missions, having maybe one that's really strong can have a greater impact and grow faster than having a whole bunch
Right.
of like smaller ones. And,
And
then
that's-
that idea of collaboration again and melding them together and making that money work a little bit harder for them is just, it makes sense.
Well, and we do all, like I said, we have 23 funds. Some of our funds, our largest fund does generate about $11,000, $12,000 a year annually.
Holy moly, that's a lot of
That's
money.
a lot of money, but I
Yeah.
mean, they can all get there. But then some of them are really just dispersing a few $100s, but they'll get there.
Yeah.
They'll tick along. So, I mean, obviously, the bigger they grow, the more impact that they have year after year. But everything adds up.
Well, and the
Oh,
nice thing is for us, like when we first started our fund, we were able to advertise it. Like Stephanie advertised it through the foundation, and we advertised it through our own social media and offered the opportunity to our family and friends to donate to our fund. So
Yeah.
it's not just us that's growing the fund. Like it's not just us putting money in every time. Our families were like, okay, well, we're going to make a charitable donation this year anyways.
And we're gonna-
Why
yeah.
not put it in your fund to help you out?
So when they do make a contribution, do they get like a charitable receipt or
Yeah,
of
we're a
course.
registered
It's
charity
really
too.
easy on the Brockville Area Community Foundation website.
Okay.
You can pick which fund you want your money to go to.
And then there's like a little like synopsis or
Yes.
whatever
Yep.
of what all the
Exactly.
different funds are for. So it's like
got
a
it.
one-stop shop for
Exactly.
do-gooding.
Exactly. Got it. You've got
I
it.
love it. I love it. It's such a great idea. So I guess, you know what? Actually, producer Matt is telling us that we're going to have a commercial break soon. So before we go, is there anything else that you just wanted to add real quick or like a little anecdote about maybe like something that your kids did this summer that was like just for people who are looking for things for their kids to do this summer, like next summer? Is there like a camp that you loved or like a restaurant that you loved?
My
or-
kids loved,
Yeah.
well, sorry, my kid, because one of them wasn't old enough, but my daughter Claire loved the Shane Garrity soccer camp,
Oh,
which is a little bit unbelievable because she loved soccer when she was really little. And then this year didn't really
so
love
much into it.
playing
Yeah.
because they're playing with boys and she's a little bit young, like
Yeah.
a little bit intimidated. But she loved the Shane Garrity soccer camp. And that camp also kind of has a same mission as us. Like they
Yeah.
really believe in helping the community and it's a very affordable camp. And it was awesome.
That's fantastic. Super helpful because I know I'm always looking for fun things for my kids to do. My kids are not soccer fans, so that might be worse.
Well, honestly, their favorite part was the canteen.
Yeah,
Which went, again, the canteen was supporting a local family who I think their son has some medical issues, I think,
I
and
wanna
the
help
canteen
them.
supported that. So every day we're like, yep, sure, you can
Yeah,
have money
go
for the
have ice
canteen. Yeah,
cream.
go help yourself. And that was like the highlight.
Go get an ice cream for a good cause.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can handle that.